So this is going to be a somewhat very serious video. So this is kind of the start of the videos I will be talking about with things like mental health and all that. Sorry, my voice kind of cracked. The reason why I want to advocate for mental health is because it is a common problem, very known in our society, and very few people take it very seriously. It's either A, treated like a joke, or B, ignored. Um, the first thing I'm going to talk about here is why people should not be faking mental disorders or any kind of mental health issues whatsoever. The first being with disorders. Now, I could use a couple of people for example, but one of the biggest examples I'm going to use is Tix and Roses. Tix and Roses was a TikToker who basically faked having Tourette's. And it was pretty obvious from the start that she was faking it. But why did she do it? Here's the pretty simple reason. Attention. People like these feed off attention, and during that, they kind of lose sight of what's right, and what's wrong. If they keep doing wrong things and it keeps getting more attention, then they're still going to keep doing it because they think it's just going to get them more and more attention. Kind of like what Tix and Roses did. And it wasn't very long before people, started to believe, yeah, she doesn't actually have Tourette's. Granted, I don't really know people who have Tourette's, but I do know some certain, effects with it, and why it should not be faked. Another thing people like to fake or make fun of, or really just kind of go off on, is autism. Now, believe it or not, I am actually an autistic 21-year-old girl. I was diagnosed at the age of 3, and throughout my life, people kind of treated me differently, let's just say. With some people thinking I can't do simple things because I'm autistic, between having to do a lot of different therapies and be on certain medications because I'm autistic. And of course, there's things like sound and touch, which are very, my senses are very high due to autism. But long story short, autism is something you do not want to fake as well. It's not something that's just... Because there are different kinds of autism. There is autism where you can't talk, between autism where you're highly functional. Now, believe it or not, I am actually highly functional. And, sorry if it seems like I'm out of breath in this video. But basically, with autism, it's not as simple as moving or fidgeting around every 5 seconds. Autism can range from different kinds of things. Some people out there who have high functioning autism can be great people. Can even go on to make even great things, like the guy who made Pokemon, for example, is in fact autistic. But long story short, I've seen people on the internet try to portray autism as a joke or self-diagnosing as autism, when that's not really the case. You can't just magically diagnose yourself as autistic and just say you're autistic. You actually have to have an actual resource, an actual reason to believe so, and get tested for it. So I guess the moral of this story is don't fake disorders, and even mental illnesses as well, like depression or anxiety. I've seen people say Billie Eilish, for example, who basically portrays depression as something quirky or something cute, and makes all these young, impressionable girls want depression. And they think they have it because of some BuzzFeed or some shit like that. Sorry for the swearing. And it's harmful in a lot of different ways. One, when you actually have depression, it is not as easy as you think it is. Two, it actually harms those who actually do have depression and makes it less reliable to get more help. And that's pretty much all I really have for that. Anxiety is also kind of a big one. Anxiety and depression are something that can happen from a very young age. For example, I was diagnosed with depression at the age of 12, and I was diagnosed with anxiety at the age of 15 years old. So kind of living with all three has always been a bit of a challenge for me, but I still managed to work it out in the end, with the right medications and the right therapies and the right tools that I need. But I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about mental health, and I'm talking about disorders. Bottom line, don't fake disorders, because it actually takes away the help that people need in order to survive. It's kind of like someone basically saying they've been raped when in reality they've never been raped, because it takes away the resources and it makes people less likely to believe that someone has been raped. It's not funny, it's not cute, it's not trending. So, in other words, please do not fake mental illness or any kind of disorder whatsoever for attention. If you want attention so badly, do something that will flatter everybody. Like, do a little dance on TikTok. I'm pretty sure that will give you tons of attention. But don't do this. Because in the end of the day, you will get caught. And you will be exposed. I mean, look what happened to Ticks and Roses, for example. So, yeah, that's kind of what my little moral was when it comes to mental health. Now, be sure to hear us, see us, and help us.